Hello, Year 9, and welcome to the third lesson in your topic on the First World War. So, to get us going for this lesson today, as you can see, there are 4 different images on the screen. What I would like you to do is to choose one of the questions to answer based on these 4 images on the screen. So obviously, as always, the bronze question is the easiest. So you can describe what you can see in these images. Quite simply, tell me what you can see. Secondly, our silver question is slightly more difficult. What do you think this shows you about life on the front line? What kind of information can you gain from these images about life on the front line? And lastly, our goal question is a little bit more difficult again. So, do you think these images would have been seen at home during the First World War? Explain your opinion. So, by that, I would like you, please, to be looking at these images and see if these are an opinion that would have been seen by friends and family at home. Please pause this video now to enable you to answer one of these questions. So as you can see, these 4 images are showing you the stark reality of life on the front line and in the trenches. So in the first image, you can see soldiers with rats. We can also see quite a graphic image of trench foot and the effect that living and working in wet, muddy trenches would have had on the soldiers' bodies. Obviously, we can also see the conditions that what it would have been like in the trenches, the sheer exhaustion, the lack of space that these soldiers would have been living by on a daily basis. So this lesson, we are going to be looking at trenches and weapons. Like the past lessons, we will still be working towards the unit objective of was the First World War an unnecessary war. Hopefully throughout this lesson today, you'll be able to describe what trench life was like for the average soldier. So I'm hoping that all of you will be able to describe what trench life was like for the average soldier. I'm hoping that most of you will be able to describe the different issues that existed for soldiers at the front line. And I'm hoping some of you will be able to use historical terminology to create a letter to explain the main challenges of trench life. So to get us going today and start investigating what life was like in the trenches, we're going to watch 2 video clips. These video clips can be found underneath this video, on Moodle. These video clips are going to give you an overview of what life was like in the trenches, and they're going to give you slightly different opinions, obviously, as they are created by different people. Some of it is going to cover things that you've already looked at in the past 2 lessons, which will be beneficial for you as well. What I would like you to do is, while you're watching both of these videos, I would like you to be discussing the difficulties of living in trenches, which are mentioned in the video. I would like you to think about how miserable life is like in these videos, and I'd like you to be thinking about the reliability of these interpretations. So you need to be thinking about who has created these videos, you need to be thinking why they were created and who they were created for. What is the tone of their video, which is also important, and picking up on previous knowledge, how reliable do you think their opinion is? Now that you've watched those 2 videos and you've got an idea about life during the First World War on the trenches, what I would like you to do is to have a look at the sources. These sources are going to give you many different opinions on what life was like on the front line. So what I would like you to do is to answer the questions in the worksheet to enable you to have a better understanding of life in the trenches. So what I want you to do is to remember that some of these sources will cover multiple topics, and multiple topics will appear in more than one source. So you need to read every single source to gain as much information as you can. Please use the sources and don't solely focus on one source for one topic. Okay, so lastly, I would like you all to now be thinking about the information that you have gained about life in the trenches, and you are going to write a letter home to somebody in your family or close friends. So I'm going to tell you that the date is June 1916 and you're a British soldier living in the trenches. Tomorrow you will be going over the top to attack the Germans. This could be the last letter that you are ever going to write home. You need to be describing the conditions and your experiences of living in the trenches. This letter will need to be honest and reliable to be able to truly show the experiences that you have lived through for the past 2 years. Please use the sources, any knowledge that you have gained throughout this lesson to help you with this task. There is also a guidance sheet that can be found for you also. Okay, lastly, to finish off this lesson, what I would like you to do is to see if you agree or disagree with this statement. So the sources have made the conditions in trenches out to be worse than they are. Please answer this question.